let's talk a little bit about the other side of the ball. As you said, you assessed the offense. You were critical of yourself and thought of things that could change. What did you see when you looked at your defense, and what do you want to do differently this year?
Well, one, we want to use more bodies, and I think we're going to be able to do that. We're using the term platoon rather than sub. Defensively, you're going to see a lot of guys play Saturday night, which is going to be great early in the game too. Not waiting. We're going to sub early. You're going to see a great substitution pattern. I think secondly, we're going to see a more of aggressive defense, not a defense that's going to wait, not a defense that's saving itself because they're fatigued and they don't want to get too tired. You're going to see it's a defense that's aggressive, attacking. I think you're going to see a secondary that had to play with a lot of youth last season that now is a little bit more experienced. It's a bit more confident. So all those things should add up to us being, creating more turnovers, which is the goal, Jordan. We want to increase that by at least 10. We created 23 turnovers last season. We'd love to get that number to 33. I think that'll have a real impact on a couple, the tight ball games that we play.
And along those same lines, I know that a lot of guys are going to play, but my most interesting battle you had this summer has been at the safety spot, right?
Right.
You started with Plattenberg, and it was Plattenberg and McQuaid at first. Plattenberg gets hurt. Hawkins steps in. The depth chart was released yesterday. It's McQuaid and Hawkins. How is that sort of working out? How's that competition?
Well, all those guys are going to play. Marvell Tell is going to play Saturday too. So, it's unfortunate. Yakili Ross got injured. Or he'd probably be playing as well. So we're going to play these guys. We're going to see what it looks like. The one thing Chris Hawkins gives us is a very heady player back there. He's got a very high football IQ. He has corner coverage skills at the safety spot, which, again, allows us to play a little bit more man-to-man against the three wide sets that we see so much of now. We know what Leon can do for us, but all these guys are going to play. Like I said, you're going to see a steady diet of rotating players on our defensive side of the ball, and the safety position is no different.
One guy we know is going to play a lot is Adoree Jackson. How do you balance the fact that he is this shutdown cover corner that you love and Justin Wilcox probably really loves, and then you as the offensive mind is saying, every time I get the ball in this guy's hands, he's a threat to take it the distance.
Right.
So how do you balance those two things out?
Well, again, I think rotating our corners. Kevon Seymour's back for his senior year. We signed two really good corners in Biggie Marshall and Isaiah Langley. So we're going to be able to play some young guys early on, which will allow Adoree to spell himself a little bit. But if you've ever been around Adoree, that guy's like the Energizer Bunny, man. He's got energy for days. He almost has as much energy as Juju, who's sitting over here right now. Those two guys rival each other. But he's a special player. He's got a high football IQ. We can put him all over the field. And he's going to return kicks and punts. So we have to be aware of it. We have to take care of him. And so we'll monitor him very closely.
And that was my question because, with him playing, where everybody's sort of wanting his services, how concerned are you that you don't overplay him or play him? Is there a number of plays you're sort of targeting, or what sort of creates that balance? Or is it his choice? I mean, how do you?
I think that's now, as I shift roles here a little bit, being just the offensive play caller and still the head coach, now being the head coach, I'm going to be able to monitor it more. I'm going to be able to go over and ask our defensive staff how many plays is it now for him. I can ask the offensive staff. I'll know special teams numbers. Those things I'll be a lot more in tune with. And okay, we Adoree on offense this series. Let's go play him this series. So we'll be able to monitor it a lot better.
You were the best first quarter team in the nation, I believe, statistically last year. The one thing that kept this team from being great was fourth quarters. What have you done? What have you looked at in terms of finishing off games this year to rectify that?
Well, the depth is one. I think two, we've started this finish challenge that has just been awesome for our team. It goes pits ones-on-ones right at the end of practice. There's a winner and a loser, and you'd be surprised at the energy. I mean, these guys storm the field, whoever wins on that last play. And so we're just trying to get it ingrained in their mind how important the last play is, and how important those last few plays are. And that's when we need to be at our best. And I think it's as much mental as it is physical. But time's going to tell. We'll see how it goes. But I feel good about the preparation that we've put in, not only physically, not only from a depth standpoint, but also mentally.
Another situation which is completely positive this year compared to last year, that offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, this year the depth is, as good as it's ever been. Once again, we get back to the depth chart where you have Wheeler, Lobendon, Vianney sort of in some kind of rotation, I would, assume. Wheeler, of course, coming off the injury. How are you waiting to see how he looks and plays before you figure out the starters? Because there's a lot of oars in there when you talk about the depth chart at that left tackle spot and that right guard spot.
Well, I mean, unless Chad Wheeler does something we don't expect, he's going to play left tackle for us. The rotation at guard is going to be critical with Damian, Vianney, Toa. And at tackle, at the right tackle spot was Zach Banner and then Chuma Edoga. The one thing that we don't always realize about Zach Banner, not only does he start at right tackle for us, he starts on 3 special teams. And that's a lot for a big guy. That's a big number of plays. So it'll get Chuma some shots at right tackle, it'll get Toa some shots at right tackle, and then a good guard rotation for us there.
And we saw it a little bit last year, and I know you got away from it a little because the numbers were down. But last year there were times where you rotate linemen in between series.
It's coming.
It's coming. Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
I'd like to do a little bit of that because that's just kind of cool.
Yeah, those big guys running on, I like that.
You lost, about a 100-catch guy in Nelson Aguilar, who's already thriving in the NFL. Everyone has nothing but good things to say about him. Does the guy sitting over here, Juju Smith-Schuster, does he take the lion's share of that? I'm sure he'd love to. Or you have a lot of guys to throw to. You think you spread it out? He's
done everything to get himself prepared to do it, and now it's our job to get him the ball. But Stephen Mitchell's had a great offseason. Darius Rogers had a good offseason. Isaac Whitney's been a very good addition to us on the outside. Adoree's going to get his plays. The key for us offensively is, I know Nelson had a lot of his catches last year, but this guy had 60 catches last year, and Buck had his catches out of the backfield. So when we're at our best, the ball is getting to everybody, and 5 guys are a threat on every single play. But we got to find our one-on-one matchups for number 9, and that's because he's pretty tough to defend.
Lastly, for me anyway, the position battle at tight end. You got 3 guys, that are there. Taylor McNamara, of course, he was once coming to SC, went to Oklahoma.
Right.
Connor Spears, a walk-on. Tyler Petit. What's happening at the tight end spot? I know that they'll all play, but how's that competition sort of?
Well, it's been a great competition. I think the thing we don't know, JJ, is we don't know.
Okay.
Right? I mean, none of these guys have played football for us yet. So they've done a good job. They're preparing well. Coach Tuiasosopo has done a fantastic job preparing them. But it's different when you're under the lights at the Coliseum and there's 90,000 people there. So we're going to find out. But they've all put themselves in good position to go out and perform.
And lastly, real quick, we don't want to forget you have an opponent 4 straight bowl games, and they present some challenges.
They sure do. They're a good football team. These guys have won 11 games a couple different years now. The last 4 years, they've gone to 4 straight bowl games, and they've done it with 3 different head coaches. I mean, I think it was Gus Malzahn was there. He wins 11 or something. He goes on. Brian Hartson wins 11. He goes to Boise State. Now they're winning their games now. So it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a challenge defensively. This quarterback is an athletic guy. And defensively, these guys are aggressive. They play hard. I think they sacked the quarterback last year 37 times. They get after the quarterback. So we need to be disciplined. We need to be focused, but yet we need to let it go. And we can't be conservative. We're an aggressive-minded football team ourselves, and so we need to play our brand of football.
All right, thank you, Coach. And a reminder to all our new listeners that Coach joins us every week. You can also catch him at Monday Morning Quarterback, 4 luncheons and 1 dinner special coming this year. Monday, September 21st, prior to the Arizona State game, is the first Monday Morning Quarterback. Sign up online at TrojanAthleticFund.com or call 213-740-4167 for more info. That's right next door at the Galen Center Founders Room.